Welcome back to another episode of the Power Podcast. Today we have Keri Cooper with us, and she is an physiotherapist and she is going to share very valuable things with us today. So let's get started with this podcast. Keri, can you please explain yourself to our audience?
Sure. I'm Keri Cooper, and I have a therapy practice in New Jersey where I specialize with teens. And I've written books for parents and teens as well, which is Mental Health Uncensored 10 Foundations Every Parent Needs to Know. In those books and in my practice, I talk a lot about sleep and how sleep is a foundation for all mental health. So, because that's so important, I've actually created a second business where I'm a certified sleep science coach and I work virtually with adults to get them back on track to sleeping well.
So, Keri, what is your most important bedtime rule?
So, one of the things that I think really sets the stage for good sleep is to be able to have your devices, your phones, your laptops out of your bedroom. And I know that sounds really scary for some people because we're so attached to them, but it really does interrupt our sleep for a number of reasons. One is the blue light from the screens. Really disrupts our body's ability to know when it's bedtime and when it's wake time. The other issue is that when it's by us, sometimes it's very easy to be distracted by it and not focus on our sleep. So that is always my number one rule is to remove the devices. And I know some people will say, but if there's an emergency, I need to have my phone near me. Then put it across the room. That way you can at least grab it constantly and put it on do not disturb and just have your favorites, whoever might need to get a hold of you in the middle of the night, able to get through.
What does lack of sleep impact that most people don't realize?
It's so interesting. So, lack of sleep, all the research is showing us it impacts our mental health and it impacts every function of our body. Because when we sleep at night, that's when our body really restores itself. It processes memories and all of that. But the one thing that I think people don't realize is that lack of sleep is connected to obesity. So if you're struggling with weight, exercise and diet are important, but just as important is sleep because that's actually when you make the hormones that are going to tell your body whether or not you're hungry or not, or when you're full.
So lots of people have this question, and I personally have this question, like how much sleep is enough sleep?
That's a great question. And I think we typically hear as adults it's between 7 to 9 hours, but I'm
Right.
going to change that a little bit. And I'm going to say if you wake up and feel rested, you are getting enough sleep and good sleep. If you're getting 8 hours and you wake up and you don't feel rested, then you need more or you need a
Right.
better quality of sleep. So it's really very individual. And the best way to judge it for yourself is when you wake up in the morning. How do you feel? And one of the best ways to tell is if you're in a good sleep routine, you will not need an alarm to wake up. Your body will just have that rhythm and wake up naturally.
I hope like our audience also get lots of insight about sleep and quality of sleep by seeing this podcast. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you. And if people want more tips, they can go to my website, Sleep Solutions by Keri, Keri.